Good afternoon, everyone. Tracy Chapkus, Homeworks by Precept. I've gotten a lot of questions lately for people who are ordering distance learning from BJU Press. When all the boxes come in the mail, they're a little overwhelmed at where to start. So I want to quick just talk about some things that I do to be helpful, as well as name some things. These are the student worksheets, and this is the parent worksheets. Now previously, and you'll find some literature still says PMM, Printed Mom's Minutes. So that is what they're talking about when they're talking about Printed Mom's Minutes. A lot of your classes will have work text, as well as this is the video lesson guide. So this tells you each subject and what you're doing each day for the video, and then your videos. My first step I tell people is to go ahead and take out this orientation video and watch the video. I usually watch the first Mom's Minutes as well as skim through the first lesson with each of those components in front of me. So when she starts talking about taking this folder or that folder, I know exactly what she's talking about. If you have a kindergartner, because there's only 3 subjects, Bible, beginnings, and math, I usually recommend you take your beginnings worksheet and your student packet and you kind of compile them all together. In the back of the student work text is all the cutouts for when they're doing cut and paste, and so I usually recommend putting those all together. So if you are looking at page 1, you know what extra sheets are going to be with page 1. I also recommend, this seems a little tedious, my kids really got a good system going to do like the Addy bags and the cheddar folder, hopper folder, just so when the teacher says to go get certain things out of there, your children are getting used to listening to her and following directions. If you are getting to older elementary, you have a lot more worksheets and a lot more paperwork, and so what I did for that is I put the parent guide for each subject into a 3-ring binder. And then this is 1 week's subject. So this is all, Monday through Friday, what you're going to do. So what I did is that for each day, I had a extra folder with a little pocket in it, because then I would look what materials are needed for that day, what work text pages. For example, first grade phonics and English has handwriting composition, phonics practice, and reading worksheets. So it can get kind of confusing for a child. So for me, I put any extra things like puppets or 3x5 cards in the extra little pocket, and then I went ahead and just paper clipped. So this is from the teacher packet, but then there's things from the student packet in there as well as from each of their individual workbooks. And I stuck it in there. I have twins, so I've doubled everything. And then I just went and paper clipped it together. So then I know when that is all taken care of, we're on to day 2, and I can stick extra things in the pocket. At the end of the week, I put an extra pocket page, because a lot of times you're going to be asked to do oral reading or silent reading, and I want to make sure I put those testing rubrics in there, so I reminded myself to do it. Otherwise, we have a lot going on and we forget stuff. Speaking of grades, many states don't require grading until 2nd grade, but if you choose to grade, which I like to do, I recommend a hanging file box like this. So BJU Press has a scope and sequence. That's the objectives for each class, K through 12, and that just helps you to kind of figure out where you're going, as well as describe to someone if you're ever asked what you're teaching your children. I always add in my last year's video lesson guide and the date that I did those lessons, and then each kid gets their own manila folder, and I will take the record of grades and I'll stick it in the front of the manila folder so that I know which folder is for which class. One other thing that was helpful for me is I'll sit down with the notebook or the workbook. So for example, for grading handwriting, which we don't, but I would look at the record of grades and see lessons 6, 12, 15, and 14 are graded. So then I'll go and I'll star 6, 12, 15, 14, 18. So I know when I rip those pages out that that's a graded one, so I don't forget to grade it and have it get in the recycling bin and not be used. Hopefully those tips were good for you. If you guys have any questions, there's homeworks consultants all over the country here to help you, and BJU Press as well does take phone calls. So please go ahead and comment below and let us know what you do to get yourself organized for distance learning this year. Have a great year. God bless.